Hello and welcome to the LAAGCast. It is October 11th, 2018, and thanks for checking out the show. I'm your host, Max Williams, and with me as always is my co-host, Sam Richards. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Excellent. I'm also doing well.
Oh, good.
So, let's get right into it.
No, I didn't ask.
Well, that's fine. I just assumed that it would be, of interest to the listeners, I guess. Maybe not.
I'm just kidding. It was implied.
It was pretty arrogant. I agree. I apologize. Do you want to start over?
No, it's cool.
All right. So, the first thing we want to talk about is the, I'm fortunate to say, the season finale of Season 7 of The Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Is this show actually called The Venture Brothers or Venture Bros?
Good question. I've never been able to figure that one out.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm pretty sure it's the Venture Bros. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I feel like when I picture the title appear on screen, it's BROS.
When I think about the Escape to the House of Mummies, I think last week on the Venture Bros.
Okay.
Actually, now
the Venture Brothers.
Now that I've said it, I think it's the Venture Brothers.
Okay, well, we're going to put a pin in that one. Moving on, the finale. So, real quick, the plot, loosely, was that Dr. Venture gets kidnapped by the Guild, and that leads to two plot lines, essentially. One being that Doc is being used as part of a weird ritual of ascension by the Guild to level the Monarch up back to a level 10 villain.
Yeah, level 10. And
meanwhile, they've also left a team of soldiers back at the Venture compound in order to attempt to neutralize Brock Sampson. And I feel like the Brock plotline was almost like an apology to the fans. It was like
fan service.
It was all fan service. And like all the people who've been saying like Brock has not been doing anything interesting. Like when were you going to see Brock kick some ass again?
Right, and murder a bunch of people.
Right. This was all that, and like everything Brock was saying about it's been too long, and thank you guys so much for doing this.
That's true. It was in dialogue as well.
So that was particularly excellent. He's real lucky that guy shot him right in the chest, right in the little 4-inch metal plate that he has there.
Well, he can take a lot of gunshot wounds.
Yeah, he probably could have just taken the bullet.
Yeah. It's not like... Well, even if it's in the skull, you'd probably still get out.
I know, right? That guy, he's Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, Brock monster.
When he stops and he says, "You guys need to piss? Like, we can take it seriously. You want to take a break?"
Yeah.
He definitely killed those guys once the thing resumed. Like, we never got a scene later where they were just chilling and being like, "Hey, so, like..."
No, he killed them all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's all there really is to say about that plot line. But back over to the Monarch's plot line, that was a hilarious ritual.
Yeah, no, it was a really good... from ancient times ritual.
Yeah, so like it was the myth that originated this whole thing.
Right,
like, the first villain who chose to arch rather than murder his lifelong opponent.
Yeah, and his own sidekick / henchman,
right,
who also chose to be a henchman rather than becoming his own villain. Right,
they chose to arch and to hench, respectively. It was all part of the plan.
Yeah, and it makes sense, considering the theme of the show, that's what the first villain was all about. It's never been about killing Dr. Venture.
Yeah, even before they make the reveal, when they have the guy say, "Oh, so you choose to spare your opponent and can hold your grudge."
Right.
Like, you knew where they were going with it.
Oh, yeah.
And that plotline also chose to literalize, 100% confirm the thing that we've been saying all season.
Right. Monarch and Dr. Venture are blood related.
Half brothers, basically confirmed at this point.
Basically.
And so we're going to see
double confirmed.
Right, double confirmed. Yeah, full on, like if you haven't been paying attention, here you go, guys.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. That's going to change the dynamic heavily.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And the only other thing that happens in this episode is the Hank and Dean plotline.
Right, with sidebars with Hatred.
Right, sidebars of Sergeant Hatred going full Dennis from Always Sunny.
From Always Sunny, just popping it off.
Popping it off.
The shirt.
And getting about the same reaction
Yep.
that we always see Dennis get. Yeah, so Hatred finally did something funny this season. I'm glad.
Exactly. Well, it's always been the one joke per episode, though.
Yeah, but the jokes haven't been good. Before this one, the jokes have been like, yep, he's lame now.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's really all there. Well, there's more to say about that plot line.
Lots of Dean part.
Yeah, it's all Dean, really. Oh, no, wait, what am I talking about? Hank in The Empire Strikes Back was perhaps the funniest thing that was happening in that episode.
That was amazing.
When, he gets deposited into Empire Strikes Back while Action Man is sharing his coma, maybe, but his dream is based on Barbarella.
Right.
And so Hank's current Empire Strikes Back reality is like actively overwriting Barbarella because Hank obviously has the most forceful imagination of any character in this universe.
And he doesn't know Barbarella.
Right. And it's great when he's going through the Luke stuff and he's like, well, normally I would use the Force to get out of this, but I'm clearly Lando.
Yeah. That was really good.
And he's still trying to seduce the Wampa. He's put on some moves.
While he's hanging upside down in the cave.
So I will attempt to seduce this Wampa and then later betray you to the Empire.
Yeah, that was good.
And then the end of his plot line is also a movie reference when they do Darkman. At the end, when he turns around and you see his face in the crowd, but it's not the face you expect to see. Because I think in Darkman, when he turns around, it's Bruce Campbell's face. I'm almost certain.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was a good, funny reference.
Yeah, that was good.
Dean kind of threw a wrench into the definitely going to be a supervillain plot that we were kind of predicting. Maybe. It depends on where Hank goes, but it definitely seems like it wants us to think that if they are adversarial, it's going to be Hank who's the villain, but all that to me is that it would have to be some sort of switcheroo.
Yeah, I could never see Hank being a villain.
Yeah. Even just to Arch his brother? Yeah, see, I couldn't even, there's no way.
Yeah, he'd give it up after a day.
Yeah, he's not down.
Yeah. But Dean did destroy Hank's Bop-It Extreme.
Oh, he did destroy the Bop-It.
Because it was annoying. Yeah,
and it makes you wonder how much Hank really remembers and how much of it was stuff, like when he remembered that he caught Dean and Serena. Did he remember catching them, or did he actually hear it when Dean was telling him because he only said it in the dream after Dean had said it to him in the real world? And he just says, I'm pretty sure my brother slept with my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah,
and so
that's interesting.
So it is, he could maybe in his coma have heard subconsciously all of the other things that Dean admitted to, including like that they're clones and all the stuff they mentioned. So it was a good lore-filled episode that it was a good standalone.
Plenty of laughs,
very funny, and definitely made you mad that you have to wait 2 years between seasons
or more. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say? I feel like I talked a lot there.
I feel like I've said what I needed to say.
All right, so
my points.
Venture Bros is obviously a strong recommend. I don't know what we're gonna do to fill the time slot next week.
Oh, you gotta watch Lost in Space.
I guess I should watch Lost in
Still
Space.
kind of obsessed with it.
Interesting.
After watching it several weeks ago.
All right. I may have to get a move on that, especially if I only need to do one per week.
Yeah, no, that would be even better.
Yeah. So, moving on to the other show that we've been reviewing the last few weeks. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We got 2 episodes to talk about. One we watched immediately after recording last week's episode.
Yes.
And I do remember a lot about that episode. It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. All the stuff. Well, each one of the characters had their own funny thing going on. Dennis with his getting a econ-friendly vehicle. And becoming,
a Prius.
As he says, soy boy beta cuck. Again, they slipped in a soy boy beta cuck.
Yeah, they really like that. They're really driving it home this season, aren't they?
Yeah. So that was good. Dee got a... what kind of car is that?
She got Dennis's Land Rover.
Right. Land Rover.
Yeah. And immediately ingratiated herself with a couple of socialite, also Land Rover owners. Oh no, she didn't get Dennis's old one. She got the one Dennis wanted to buy.
Right,
the new
brand
model.
new. Yeah, she immediately became a socialite briefly, but her car definitely turned her into a little bit of Dennis.
Yeah, she turned into a monster. A little bit. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, even worse than Dennis, because Dennis gets that like power tripping in his car, but D is already all about like vengeance and anger, so it just
boils out. Yeah, when she's getting a massage, and we have that weird camera angle where she's looking through the massage pillow directly down at us.
Right, that was good.
That was an intense piece of like close up acting by Caitlin Olsen.
Yeah.
And the Mac and Charlie plot where they went and got bikes to recreate their childhood, capture some of their youth.
They went and got bikes. That was also a very fun plot line. All the what are you gonna do about it from that kid who took their bikes.
The son of
an adult.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like the son of the bully who took their bikes when they were kids, like managed to take their bikes now because, I really thought that they were going to launch into the beating the kids up bit much earlier than they did. But I guess it's good they built up to it.
I'm glad they built up to it because, they went full on beating up a bunch of kids. Like immediately from that first punch by Mac where it goes into the slow-mo for the second and the close-up of the kid's cheek. Oh, man.
He breaks the kid's jaw and knocks a tooth out immediately.
Yeah. I could not stop laughing after that moment.
Yeah, I can't believe they're not in jail after that because Charlie definitely kicked a kid to death on the curb.
He did. Oh, man. Yeah, and that's just the thing. Within the context of this show about these idiots... a couple of the main characters beating up a crowd of children, like, savagely, is just the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, they've really set you up to appreciate the nuances of beating up a group of kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You want those kids beaten up. And you know these degenerate lowlives are up to the task.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. No, so good.
Does Frank do anything in that episode besides buy the car for D?
Well, not that I can remember.
I don't think so. If you did, it wasn't funny enough.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the episode we just watched today.
The King solves the bathroom situation.
The bathroom situation. Another very zeitgeisty episode. Very current affairs.
Yeah.
Very the conversation. Although this conversation is almost like a year or two old now compared to a lot of the other things they've been hitting on.
That's true. They could have definitely had this one last season.
I definitely think so. But it's nice that they waited to establish Mac as such a flamboyantly out gay man because it provided extra angles for them to approach this problem from.
Was it Charlie who called him celibate?
Did he call him celibate? I know he called him a twink. You stupid twink.
I feel like somebody called him, like, you're not really gay, you're celibate.
Was that this episode? I feel like that wasn't this episode.
I feel like I heard it this episode.
Interesting. Well, they were doing
an under the breath kind of thing.
There was a lot of shouting over each other in this Jimmy Buffett themed episode.
Yeah. Oh man, the shirts, the costumes were great.
Yeah, they've got the Hawaiian shirts on. They've got the Pina Colada song on because I feel like it's actually kind of disappointing that the first bit in the episode was about how everybody thinks the Pina Colada song is Jimmy Buffett, because it would have been way funnier if they'd been playing it in the episode throughout, and then late in the episode they were like, hey, that isn't even actually Jimmy Buffett, to trick a bunch of the audience themselves who do think, because that's really common for people to think that the Pina Colada song is Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like you have Dennis spill it halfway through the episode, like, you idiots. It's not even a Jimmy Buffett song. You get idiots.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that would have been a good gotcha for, I'm sure, a significant chunk of the watchers probably are amongst those who made that assumption. So
well, that does sound like a Jimmy Buffett song.
It does sound like a Jimmy Buffett song, yes. And so does that Beach Boys song.
Yeah. But isn't it a one-hit wonder?
I believe so.
Yeah, I thought so.
That guy, They even said his name, and I cannot recall.
Nah, doesn't matter.
Frank was pretty funny.
Frank was very funny, as he always is.
Yeah.
Finally got to see the women's bathroom.
The women's bathroom is so clean. It's so clean. Is Charlie cleaning it that way and keeping it clean like that? He must be. He's the one who's known the longest about I mean, he's been pooping in there the whole time, according to the lore established in this episode.
According to the lore in this episode, exactly.
For every single season of Always Sunny, every time Charlie's taken a shit, it has been in a dress with high heels and a wig on, because he's a trans pooper.
Yeah, I wonder where he hides them. Probably like an event or something in the women's bathroom.
It would be funny if that hand dryer in the women's bathroom didn't work and it actually pops off the wall and it's his little hiding cubby. He's got like a mirror stash.
Ooh, yeah.
But
when he poops.
Yeah, the idea that they've never noticed this mysterious, like, red high-heeled woman, like, pooping in the women's room with next to D, but then D never notices that person in the bar later because, I'm sorry, women notice other women's shoes.
Yeah, and there's never any women in the bar.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, pretty funny. Charlie not knowing what he is. It's pretty fun. That's a pretty solid position to take.
Yeah.
I don't understand this fucking thing.
Right. But as the episode progressed, he just got more and more confused, and I thought that was perfect.
Well, yeah, and the bit where he's like, "Oh, I didn't know what you're saying, but your hat was so distracting. I love that. I like what you were saying because of the hat. Oh, your shirt was so shiny. Like, I really gravitated towards that."
And then later he's like, "I am a what? White, and I should go with you guys."
He's never paying attention.
No.
Yeah. So, I'd say 2 pretty solid episodes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So, the last thing that I thought it might be a little bit fun for us to jaw about a little bit is I watched, finally, for the first time, my first ever episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, wow.
I'm afraid to watch Black Mirror. I don't like being depressed by TV.
I understand.
Big Star Trek fan here. But they've prepared for that because there is an episode of Black Mirror that is like, if you're a Star Trek fan, you got to watch this episode.
Yep.
And I've also been kind of afraid to watch it because I'm like, ooh, I don't want something to like really expose the foibles of Star Trek in a way that really makes me not enjoy it, you know. But no, it's just a real solid episode. The USS Callister. It was the first Netflix episode, which is funny because they even say Netflix at one point in the episode. Somebody mentions Netflix.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. I have never seen Jesse Plemons look more like Matt Damon than he does in that episode. Sometimes when he's sitting at that computer, like, and you're getting the shot, like, through his technology, and he's got, like, his headset on or whatever, he 100% was like, that's like fat Matt Damon sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, greasy Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks. He looks like evil Matt Damon.
Meth Damon.
Right.
It works on multiple levels.
It just does.
So yeah, it's a real creepy episode that I guess the one thing it does kind of touch on is the Doctor from Voyager, because the episode is kind of about the morality of treating purely artificially generated life forms as if they have actual humanity.
Oh yeah,
which I'd say the episode edges real hard in favor of the 100% they have their own humanity. Like, root for them, don't feel bad for them. But, like, everything they're going through is actually torture.
Right, but they're uploads. That's different than a straight mechanical being, even if it's photonically generated through a personality matrix.
Right, if it was you would still think you were you, and you would have all your memories of you.
Right,
yeah.
An upload.
Yeah, it's a disturbingly accurate copy that he can make just from getting some of your DNA. That was the most far-fetched part of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, just a little bit of DNA, and he's got everything.
Right, but he's able to put these things on his temples and then warps physically into the world, so he like actually believes he's in that world. Yeah. It's about as far-fetched as getting somebody's DNA and recreating, their
memories?
Not... Well, yes. Obviously, our upload technology, we're nowhere near that. Nobody's going to be transferring themselves into a machine anytime soon. Our VR technology is ahead of that, so yes, the things on the temples are more likely. But I feel like it's just that we haven't explored upload technology far enough.
Yeah.
One day.
Eventually. But yeah, because people are obviously going to want to do that.
Right. I mean, it's either that
Bruce
or...
Willis movie where you just upload your body into a robot body.
Right, exactly. And in a way, some feel that we have to do that, because otherwise it's more likely that we'll run into the great filter of humanity and AI, which everyone's afraid of. Obviously, AI, robots taken over after they reach the singularity, which is it becoming self-aware.
Right, able to improve on itself without any outside interference.
Right. So you gotta get upload technology so that we get there first.
So that we can get into the toaster and like fight off the machine when it tries to take over the toaster.
Right, because we're in charge of the toaster, because we are the toaster.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
But back to Black Mirror, because that was a huge tangent.
No, it was solid. It was pretty...
awesome.
I thought it was funny what a happy ending it was, considering what I know about Black Mirror, because when it comes down to it, that's almost a straight up happy ending.
Almost.
Like, the uploads get what they want, and the villain gets his comeuppance.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess they would prefer to die. Would you prefer to die, or would you prefer to have to exist in the digital game?
It's a procedurally generated infinite universe that seems pretty, pretty detailed. If, they can drink alcohol and get a buzz.
Pretty detailed, right.
Yeah. By the end, they have genitals again and everything, so I'm sure they can take a shit.
Right. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd say that seems like a pretty happy outcome.
I woke up one day.
Black Mirror. Lots of them have that almost a happy ending.
Almost a happy ending. Like, what I want to be in a much more detailed No Man's Sky for the rest of my life. No chance of getting back out. Like, maybe. And procedurally generated, like, I'm sure it's your human mind would at some point discover the limitations and the repetitions.
Well, they continuously update it until it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, really, they're only going to keep that thing running and the server's up for, 8 to 10 years, right? So.
Right.
All right, so maybe not so bad. You have a shelf life of any game.
Yeah, that's...
You just pray you're not in World of Warcraft.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're still going to have, Aaron Paul coming in and saying, this is my area of space.
Was that Aaron Paul?
Space. That was Aaron Paul.
That's funny. We were wondering who it was because we thought it was the guy who was the villain in the simulation, but his real life douche version.
Oh.
But that's funny. That's real funny.
Yeah. Totally Aaron Paul.
Oh, Brian Aaron Paul. And the other funny thing was that guy, the actor who plays the guy who's like the villain that they fight in the simulation. We also watched, I started watching Maniac this week, and he's also the douche brother in Maniac.
Oh. Nice.
So that dude is popping up all over the place all of a sudden.
That's funny.
Obviously, attached to the Netflix shows.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I wonder when he'll end up popping up in a Marvel show.
That'd be cool.
All right, but yeah, good episode. I'll probably watch it again. I don't know if I'll watch any more Black Mirror anytime soon.
Episode 2.
You do keep saying that.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I watched it the other day. It was just as good as the first time I watched it. It was just a masterpiece.
I guess anything you're willing to...
Art form.
Yeah.
Masterpiece, a work of art.
Now, is that original episode 2, or is that episode immediately after USS Callister on Netflix?
It's original episode 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Oh, and how about Jimmy Simpson? He's always popping up.
Yes. Oh, yeah, no, I can't believe we didn't mention him. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he does a great job, as he always does.
As he always does. Yeah, I look forward to seeing him as a character actor in many things for the foreseeable future, because he is always entertaining in anything he does, and he has a huge range.
Yeah, really he does.
Like, even just in this episode, he has a fantastic range.
That's true, because he's the asshole boss, and he's the sniveling underling.
Right, and the sarcastic halfway in between when Clemens isn't in the simulation.
Right, when he's at his best,
and funniest. He's super gross and Always Sunny, and in Westworld, you see him literally go from one extreme to another. He has like a huge arc in the first season of Westworld.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude's got some range.
Really?
I really wonder how he would do with a starring role in something. Like, just a real, maybe just a real Keanu Reeves-y action thriller type deal,
I'd see it.
Yeah, something with a light touch of humor.
Right, a light touch of humor and a real strong character who's always yelling about his points.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think he'd make a good villain in one of those movies.
He'd make a great villain, too. That's the thing. He'd be a great hero. He'd be a great villain.
Jimmy Simpson.
He can do creepy. I'm sure he can do heroic. Well, he can do heroic. We see a little bit of that in Westworld.
Definitely. Yeah, and we see it
in Black Mirror.
In Black Mirror, at the end of this one, we see him make the heroic sacrifice, and presumably just be burning that whole time in between when he turns on that thing and when they reconstitute on the other side of the black hole. Just a burning skeleton.
Did he reconstitute, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, did he?
I didn't see him at the end. I don't know if he did.
I'm almost certain he did. I feel like he's the one who looked down his pants.
I feel... Wasn't that the intern?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. You've watched it more times than me.
Oh, that's true. I should know, but I don't. But I feel like he doesn't make it, and he's just burning particles in the simulation forever.
Something like that.
And, yeah.
No. Everything gets reset when they leave the mod.
Yeah. Actually, you're right. Everything does get reset, and then the main guy, brain dead.
Yeah, definitely brain dead.
I'm almost certain brain dead.
Not just stuck in there, but
man, they made his hand drop in just a way like there's nobody in there controlling it anymore.
Yeah.
He's done, and I like that.
Yeah, no, it's really really horrible. I don't know if that's better or worse than him having to exist in the dark void until his human body dies.
It's like the same thing.
Alright, so I guess that's a recommend. Especially if you're a Trekker.
Yeah, really.
Alright, so that's it for TV. I didn't watch any movies. Do you watch any movies?
Nope.
Alright, let's move on to our character list. We're going to go ahead and add 4 more characters from a list of 5 you've provided me to our list of Final Fantasy characters.
Yes.
Of course, from the famed Squaresoft and Square Enix franchise Final Fantasy. So, you've given me a list here, the first of which I want to talk about is Balthier from Final Fantasy XII.
Balthier.
He's a great character.
Yeah, he is. He's almost Han Solo-esque.
The game was designed initially with him as the lead.
Right, I had read that, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Really, because you don't need so many characters in that game, to be honest.
And what's his... Vaughn is essentially superfluous to the plot. He's kind of just like...
a hanger-on.
Right, he's a point-of-view character, and I believe he was added for demographic purposes. They didn't think, like, the Han Solo type could lead his own game, so...
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Of course he could.
Yeah, especially if he's like got all these people following him around and he's like, God damn it, all the time. That's great. People love that.
Right. And he has a good arc because of his secret and the twist with his character.
Right.
Him being the prince, right?
Some royal prince. Right.
He's the heir to some throne. He went off with the bunny lady.
Yes, he did.
Instead of
Fran.
Fran, yeah. And just a good overall roguish. Like he's Han Solo. He's Han Solo 100%. Yeah. Like I feel like they don't even really try to hide it too much. I mean, he wears a vest. He's got a furry companion taller than he is.
Yeah.
The
list goes on.
The list goes on. So I think that he goes pretty high on the list. I think that I'd probably like him more than Sabin.
More than Sabin. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Who's above Sabin?
Wakka.
I don't like Balthier more than I like Wakka.
Yeah, I like Wakka more for sure. Yeah, he's a more fun companion. So slotting in.
Agree.
At number 2, that was quick. Balthier. I don't remember his true name and title.
Nah. Is Balthier.
Balthier, number 2. Alright, next, let's talk about the guy we didn't talk about last week. Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII.
Is his last name really Wallace? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Huh. Well, that's a good last name. Good strong last name.
Good strong last name for a good, strong character with a disgustingly tragic backstory.
That's true. But he really sets the stage for Final Fantasy VII, because right away, you're Cloud, but you don't know that much about yourself. You're an old soldier. But then he comes busting in, and he's like the boss, and he's using all the profanity. And
right,
he's telling you what's up.
This game ain't for kids.
Yeah, right off the bat, he's a gem.
He's a gem. He's got the old anime classic left arm is replaced with gun.
Yes, he does.
Which, that's always a lot of fun. And the various guns that you can upgrade it to throughout the game look dope.
And non-guns, if you get something like the cannonball.
The game is... Barrett takes part in some of the weirder parts of the game, like how you can, if you play the relationship system just right, he's one of the options that you can take on a date.
Yeah. He is, there's a lot of comedy from Barrett.
Yeah.
Through the whole thing, except when you get to, his hometown and the Golden Saucer the first time around and the prison underneath it, and you get his whole tragic story.
Yeah,
with Dane, the other guy with the gun arm.
The other guy with the gun arm. Yeah, that's funny. How Barrett is very much like Cloud when it comes down to it. Got a weapon from the guy who's in my tragic backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting that they ripped themselves off in the same game.
It works.
You also don't see his look too much in Final Fantasies, like the overly military. Doesn't he wear camo print pants?
Yeah, it's the print pants and the vest.
Big old boots.
Yeah, it's totally guerrilla warfare.
Which is exactly right for that character. You know everything you need to know about that character just from looking at his design. Really masterful.
Yeah.
And I think that he is the current number one. I think he goes above Waka.
Yeah, I love Barrett. Always love Barrett.
Barrett, new number 1 out of 6. Poor Steiner, he's sailing down the list.
He'll do okay.
All right, next, let's talk about a character who's named after a city around here. That's Irvine.
Irvine
from Final Fantasy VIII.
Gay cowboy.
Is he gay?
I thought he was gay. Is he not gay? It's been a while since I played Final Fantasy VIII.
I feel like he's like a womanizer. Like he's trying to hit on Renoa, trying to hit on Selphie. Doesn't he
He is a womanizer. I'm wrong.
Doesn't he end up with Selphie? He's just a flamboyant cowboy.
He's very flamboyant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally forgot about him always hitting on women.
He didn't start junctioning Guardian forces until he joins your party, so he remembers everybody the whole time and just decides not to say anything.
Yeah.
Which is super weird. That's the weirdest part of Final Fantasy's already weird-ass story about how everyone knew each other before and just forgot.
Right, because Guardian Force energy steals memories.
Which is really tragic. It's terrible.
Why would anybody ever?
So in order to become a Seed member and a Guardian Force user, you essentially have to give yourself Alzheimer's at an early age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's insane.
And this motherfucker remembers everyone, and he doesn't say shit.
He doesn't say shit. But it makes sense with his opening video where he's just sitting on a lawn and he looks over at you across all the clouds of people and he's just like, yo.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, interesting design with the fuzzy jacket, but usually a lot of fun to play with.
Cowboy hat.
Did he have a trigger action with his gun the way Squall did?
With his totally did. With his limit break, he chose your ammo, and then it's like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, that's right. You could really abuse that.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
Fast ammo is actually better than the strongest ammo because you could get off so many shots if you could hit the button fast enough.
Oh yeah, going mad at it. Oh man. And I love the whole mission where you get him to be the sniper to kill the queen, and he can't do it.
What a Why did he sign up for that job?
Oh, man.
Oh, is it because he remembered Adia?
Oh, yeah, that's probably why it was. I never really got why he couldn't do it other than, nerves and stuff.
Yeah, they treat it as nerves, but... Yeah. And they do nothing with his dialogue to indicate that he's holding back something as far as memory wise. You can't go back to that scene after you've replayed the game and be like, oh yeah, he's giving you a hint that he remembers them. Oh, no. He's giving you a hint that he's not shooting because it's the old schoolmistress.
He gives nothing away.
Nothing away,
which just can't.
That's bad. That's a weakness in my opinion.
I never thought about it that way. I always accepted that was just. Nerves. It was his first mission out of Seed, and he had never killed anyone before.
I wonder if his dialogue is any different in the Japanese version.
Well, we know that some of the dialogue for at least Squall and probably some other stuff is different.
No, I believe 8 is the game where they got sent a copy of the game without the script, and they had to start translating it without having the script. And so it has more script issues with the translation than any of the other games. Because I guess they were developing 8 and 9 almost simultaneously, and most of the A team was working on 9. Like, that's the one they were focusing on.
Okay.
Which answers a lot of questions.
Why 8 is such a pod, such a weird
one.
Final Fantasy overall.
And why 9 came out, like, the next year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They are not short games.
So Irvine, I think, needs to go below Zell. I don't like him more than Zell.
I don't think I like him more than Steiner.
Yeah, I guess Irvine's going to go on the bottom. That's Irvine. I think his last name is Kineas.
Look it up later.
All right, so last, we're going to go... I'm gonna not eat my vegetables with this list. I'm going to push my vegetables to the side to save the vegetables for the next meal.
All right.
And we're going to rank Prompto from Final Fantasy 15.
Prompto. All right.
So there's only 4 guys in Final Fantasy 15. So Kara's going to have to be paid to where they're placed on the list so that we're not accidentally placing one in an area where we can't rank him above another. If we decide he's been... well, we'll worry about that when we come to it.
Yeah.
But, Prompto, he starts out pretty annoying.
Yeah, he's always doing the Chocobo theme.
That is the worst.
That isn't actually the worst. The worst is when he goes, I want to ride my Chocobo all day.
Oh, that's bad. That's all. Yeah, that's bad. The always trying to stop and take a picture, and you have to do a button combination in order to get out of it, if you want to get out of it faster. I wish you could shut those off. Just tell Prompto to shut up.
Well, you get experience in the picture.
Yeah, but it's such a paltry amount compared to everything else you could be doing for experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like the photography aspect is probably more appreciated in Japan than for us Westerners.
Yes, the East loves the photo aspects in their games. Remember Pokemon Snap?
Yeah, exactly. It's a fine game.
Yes, it's a fun game. But yeah, even Spider-Man has been getting in heavily on the photography action.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Prompto, it's pretty fun to play as Prompto and suddenly be in a third-person shooter.
Yes.
In the game.
I didn't do it too much until I actually did his mission where you're forced to play as him. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's the second most fun of the 3 character-centric missions.
After Ignis?
Ignis is better than the main game, dude. Ignis is better than the main game, and Ignis is a better character than the main guy you play as.
Well, yeah, but we'll get to Ignis.
We'll get to Ignis. But Prompto is good. I like Prompto a lot. I think that he reminds me a lot of Zell. Not just in his look, because
that's true.
He's obviously the exuberant blonde youngster of the group.
Yeah, he's always doing the flips and stuff.
Yeah, he's doing the flips. So I think that I don't like him more than Zell.
No, I don't like him more than Zell either.
Do we like him more than Steiner?
I like him more than Steiner.
I think I agree with that. Yeah, Steiner's solid, but Prompto has, especially once you get to Prompto's twist.
It is a good twist.
It's a good twist with Prompto. It fits very well into the themes of the game, and it answers a lot of questions you probably had about things like the way the Empire is getting its soldiers that you're mowing down constantly, and it's always sending more and more of these generic guys after you.
Yeah, and it's another Final Fantasy trope to have the villain being cloning soldiers and monsters.
Cloning soldiers. Cloning soldiers and monsters.
Using magic. Condensing it.
So at number 6 out of 8, we're ranking Prompto.
Nice.
I think we should take a little break.
Sounds good.
And welcome back. We're going to wrap up the show with some comic reviews for you.
Yep.
4 comics this week, and I think that it was 4 good comics this week. Well, 3 good comics and 1 okay comic. Let me revise that a little bit. I just remembered what the 3rd comic we're going to talk about is. But
I couldn't quite agree with you on that one.
All right, so first I want to start with issue 7 of The Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett.
Cool.
This is a crazy comic, man.
Yeah.
This comic makes the Avengers look terrible.
Yes, it does. It's hilarious.
Plot of this issue is simple. Avengers have come to stop Hulk. They're going to stop him by any means necessary.
Yep.
He's near a small town. The Avengers take steps to ensure that all lives are saved, but other than that, and basically worry about no collateral damage whatsoever. They're fully focused on taking out the Hulk. They succeed in taking out the Hulk. They kill him at the end, knowing that he's going to come back.
With his god power, because now he's almost god power.
Right. In fact, Thor theorizes that he now has god power, and we don't know how much of it is what he's saying. We don't know how much of it is related to him being possessed by what might be the ghost of his father.
Yeah.
Or if there's some other monster on the other side of the green door that has come through and is inhabiting him.
Yeah.
But it starts with, it doesn't even show us what happened to Ghost Rider, just that he's done.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to realize what was happening here when they say, was that a skeleton in a car? I thought it was like, damn, did Hulk just kill somebody?
Right.
But no, I forgot current Ghost Rider drives a Mustang. The Hulk gives Thor a concussion and knocks a tooth out with 1 punch.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah, my God.
Hulk is real unstoppable. He's overloading Black Panther's vibranium armor, which Black Panther didn't think could happen. He tears the arms off the new Hulkbuster. Yeah. Thor deems him a devil Hulk, which Hulk seems to appreciate.
Yeah.
The actual image of Black Panther's suit getting overloaded is pretty cool when you see all of the tech pattern on his suit illuminate all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is cool.
Captain Marvel, even though supposedly she's the most powerful one, is for some reason kept out of the fight because she's better used getting all the survivors out of the town, I guess.
Calming the public.
And the most shocking thing to me, since I haven't been reading any comics with She-Hulk in them for a while, was color me shocked with how hulky She-Hulk looks now. Like, I knew she had buffed up, recently, but I didn't realize that she was getting full-on Hulk face.
Yeah, really.
Okay, all right, I guess we're doing it. But yeah, it's she gets taken out psychologically because this Hulk is an evil genius.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what to say to destroy your soul, even as he's destroying your body, which is another thing that Thor says. Like, he can see the evil in men's souls, and Captain America's like, we don't have any evil. And Thor's like,
smell lies.
He can smell lies, that's what it is. So they essentially have to nuke a town in order to kill him.
Yeah.
And they do it.
Super laser.
And it's real sad because we've been following this family loosely that's got evacuated, and the little kid's like, oh, when are we going to be able to go back to my house? And Captain Marvel's like, I got to tell you something, kid.
You don't got a house no more.
And I feel like I'm glad that they at least have a little bit of a discussion about it at the end, where Captain America is not happy that this happened, and T'Challa's like, I'm a king, like, I'm willing to take any measure to do what needs to be done. And the Avengers in general, like, it reminded me a lot of the Ultimates, like when they were trying to cast the Avengers as sort of like the jerkier versions that aren't quite as polished as they should be. Like, this reminded me very much of that.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, an excellent last page reveal in this issue.
You know who this guy is?
Oh, no, I don't know who this guy is, but when you turn to the last page, you find out the steps they took to keep the Immortal Hulk under control, which is they appear to have fully dismembered and disemboweled him and put every piece of flesh and his various organs into separate jars on a shelf.
Yeah, suspended them in liquid.
Yeah, he's sitting there in a head jar, Futurama status.
Yeah.
And
horror comics right here.
Like, it dipped out with the Avengers for a sec. Like, we had Wendigo, we had the Avengers, or Sasquatch. Is it Sasquatch or was it Wendigo? Sasquatch. And we had the Avengers. So for like 2 or 3 issues, we dipped out back into superhero comics a little bit.
Right, a little bit. The grittier version. Right,
and now we're heavily into horror once again. And then the cover of the next issue being Hulk screaming in a jar.
Yeah.
And this unsettling Alex Ross image is quite good. I continue to look forward to every issue of this comic.
Yeah, unsettling is the word.
Unsettling. Straight up horror. See, I don't mind the way they did Jen on the cover. She's kind of hulky, like kind of monster face, but still like clearly feminine.
Yeah.
Like not just straight up like
Engorged,
like yeah, like proto-human, like giant eyebrow thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, real solid. Second best comic Marvel's putting out right now.
Yeah.
I would give Immortal Hulk an 8.
I'd give this one I'd give it a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Solid. All right.
Next up, we have a new comic from Image Comics by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer.
Yes, and I believe Daniel Warren Johnson is writing and drawing, and then Spicer is, I don't know if he's inking, but he's probably just coloring.
Okay.
But yeah, this is definitely a Daniel Warren Johnson joint.
Yeah. Murder Falcon.
Murder Falcon.
Is the title of the comic, and it is about a dude, Jake.
Literally a dude.
Yeah. His backstory you get through this first issue is he had a pretty successful metal band. He's the guitarist, but after his wife was diagnosed with cancer and died, he had a nervous breakdown and broke his guitar, and it's been, I think they say it's been a year or more.
Yeah, 1 or 2 years.
1 or 2 years, and now he's living a sedentary lifestyle, and he hasn't fixed his guitar or played ever since.
Right.
But everybody around town knows him, and they think he should get his band back together, and the guys he used to play with, they miss him, and they wish he'd pick up the guitar again, but he's just not interested in it until one day he goes back to his apartment, and boom, there's a monster there.
Big scary monster.
Big scary monster, like a blob thing. And
yeah, like a toothy Cthulhu-esque, like tentacle alien.
Yeah, so he doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's real afraid. But then, boom. Well, he grabs his guitar, just the neck of his guitar, because it's smashed in half to try and defend himself. And that is when, boom, in comes Murder Falcon from another dimension. And
his guitar is magically fixed.
His guitar is magically fixed, and now it's red. I think before it was blue.
Uh-huh.
But now it's a super guitar. And Murder Falcon tells him, you play, and I can beat up this monster. So he plays some metal. He
Murder Falcon. I feel like you should describe Murder Falcon.
Alright, so Murder Falcon is some kind of purple bird man with big, baggy, orange pants and one robotic, just huge, gnarly arm.
Like it's a big old anime arm.
It's a big old anime arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's
and does he have a metal headband on?
He has a red headband.
Yeah.
So he's cool. He's a dude as well.
Yeah, he's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, he's huge. Yeah, but he tells Jake, you play that guitar. And so Jake plays the guitar, and as soon as he starts putting out some chords, Murder Falcon is just, his arm starts moving, and he's able to dish out the punishment to the monster. That's basically the plot of this anime.
Yeah.
After that, they're friends.
Right, and we get to see him fight 2 monsters in the first issue, and we get the 1-page overview of the plot, which is the standard Cthulhu monsters are coming through from a dimensional tear, and you're the chosen one.
Yeah. And so they hang out. They get some beer. They check out another monster while they're drinking their beer, and then they fight that monster and beat it up. And then at the end of the comic, Murder Falcon says,
we gotta get the band back together.
Yeah, will you help me get the band back together?
Because as powerful as the one guitar riffing makes him, imagine how powerful the full band shredding heavy riffs is going to make his combat. It's great how visual they're able to make this very musically themed comic.
It is interesting to have such a musically themed comic. It it makes me think of Wild Metal cartoon.
It feels like you need to put on some metal while you're reading this comic, but not just have it on the whole time. You have to turn it on when Murder Falcon shows up.
Right, when they start playing, you start playing some good songs.
Right, you bring in some real righteous tunes, and I feel like that would bump this comic up. in anybody's read.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think? Do we start picking up Murder Falcon?
I'd read another issue.
All right, yeah, we'll stick to it for a little bit. I am not familiar with Daniel Warren Johnson from anything before this. He has a couple other series, I think, that he's done that are highly recommended to me, but I haven't gotten to yet. But yeah, that may be worth checking out as well.
Maybe.
Want to give it a rating?
Yeah, I'd give it a 7.
Give it a 7?
Yeah, I very much liked it. I thought it was very funny.
All right. I think 6.5 for me. It was a pretty solid start. I enjoyed it a bit. The art is good.
Yeah,
it's above average.
The art was good. It wasn't great.
Yeah, anything above a 5 is readable.
Yeah,
so
I found it totally readable. I blasted right through it.
All right, next we'll talk about a comic whose coolest aspect is this amazing chromium cover. These covers that DC is putting on these issues
a really good cover.
Like, it's great. It has like a nice feel to it. It doesn't feel like all thick and weird like an old school holofoil cover does. It's got a nice texture to all the little particles that they've put on there.
Yeah,
and it reacts nicely in the light. They've chosen the right things to highlight. Like, it's A+ on presentation.
Yeah, it's real good.
The comic underneath this cover, though, it's a pretty brainless action comic at the end of the day that's punctuated by a weird... Because basically it's Rogolzar and Jaxer are attacking, and Clark is trying to hold them off while the Atom tries to use the Justice League to put Earth back where it should be, outside of the Phantom Zone. And Superman just wants to make sure that there are no monsters still on Earth when they make that transition.
Yeah, that's what happens.
There's this weird conversation that they flash back to where Superman's talking to John, his son.
Yeah.
And John is acting in a way that John has never acted in any other comic that John has appeared in. But for some reason, for the purposes of this flashback, Bendis has decided that John is the kind of kid who wants to get out there and use his powers to show people what for and like prove his place.
Yeah, he's kind of a brat.
Which is weird. So Clark tells John a story about how he always has the urge to kill Batman.
And not just kill Batman, he says it several times. Pop his head off.
Yeah, like he's really visualized it, and he's imagining, like, oh, just use my thumbs and like open them up like a can of soda. Like it's really terrible. And John, like, I don't know how on purpose this facial expression John gives in this panel is, but I feel like that's the correct expression you give when your dad Superman tells you that he's fantasized about popping Batman's head off.
Yeah.
But that is a real weird face on John. And I don't really understand how the moral of whatever Superman's trying to say with this connects to the main plot, because it's definitely supposed to.
Right, because he goes into that, like, after Lazar hits him, and it's like there's nothing he can do, but then there's, like, suddenly it's like, no problem, he does everything he needs to do.
Is it just a don't be mad, think things through pep talk that's just delivered in a weird way?
A really weird way.
Yeah, and so, I mean, he talks to Jaxer for a minute, and he's like, hey, dummy, you're Kryptonian, why are you helping this guy who wants to kill all Kryptonians? Which, I mean, that's smart, that's clever, it's whatever, like, good for him.
Yeah.
The Atom is trying to use the Flash to shrink the Earth down so tiny that they can use the Phantom Zone projector to warp themselves back out of the Phantom Zone, and then they'll rematerialize Earth at full size on the other side. But the Flash, who's acting like a complete dunce, like, he's, hey, guys, I saw Diana! Like, what is that? That's not the Flash. Like, that's not Barry Allen, for sure.
Yeah, definitely not.
And then he, like, trips and fails, but Earth still goes somewhere, just not back to where it's supposed to be because, what's his name? This guy, space cop guy.
He's not Starman or... No,
it's something like that. Oh, why can't I remember? Adam Strange. He says his name right on the page.
Adam Strange.
Adam Strange is where Earth is supposed to be, and Earth didn't come back. So, where's Earth? Where's Earth? I guess Superman... He talks a lot about how he can't fight Rogolzar, but I guess he's going to fight him.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. Well, I thought my favorite part of this issue was when the Atom is talking about all the stuff he needs at Star Labs, and then Flash comes running in with like a, hey, how you doing? But Aside from that, I basically agree with what you said wholeheartedly. I especially liked reading I can't seem to beat him in any physical convention. This is Superman talking. And then he says, I can't win in hand-to-hand combat, just right after that. And then after that he says, hitting him serves no purpose. He's kind of just saying the same thing 3 times in a row.
That's Bendis,
right
maybe.
There. And yeah, that kind of sums up the problems that have been going on with all the dialogue in these. There's a lot of repetition just to get the length up there so that people are talking for a long time, but they're not saying much.
Yes.
And it's starting to get real wearing.
Yeah, the art looks good most of the time. The fight looks really cool.
Yeah, the art looks so good.
Yeah, it's Ivan Reis drawing it for Bendis.
And you know what else I realized? Rogol Zar would be so much better if, instead of the entire plotline that's going on right now, it was just a straight ripoff of the Frieza plotline in Dragon Ball Z, because it's almost the Frieza plotline in Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
He's even got his Vegeta now in Jax.
Right, that's weird. Interesting. Yeah, they really should have played that angle up.
Mm-hmm. Like, how much better would it have been if Rogol Zar first sent an envoy to Earth to see what's going on, and then learned that Superman, there was a Kryptonian there, and then Superman got word that he was coming, so Superman went out to go fight him, and lost. That would have been way better as an introduction for Rogol Zar.
Superman went out to fight him and lost, and then comes back, and then Superman has to train in a hypergravity chamber because he knows Rogol Zar is now on his way to Earth.
Exactly. See, it just works.
Bendis has never watched any anime, I bet. He likes his noirs too much.
It's a shame. It's a real shame because, the parallels are there. It's just weak.
3 out of 10. It'd be a 2, but the art's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll agree with that. 3.
All right. Carry us home, bro.
All right. So last and best.
Yes.
Let's not beat around the bush with it. By Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. Venom.
Issue 7.
Issue 7.
Start of a new arc.
Start of a new arc. The Oversight, Part 1. And, this is a hell of an issue. You
ever read a comic with the Maker before?
I have not. He's new to me.
He's Ultimate Reed Richards. He's from Miles Morales' universe. In Ultimate Fantastic Four, if you got far enough, Richards eventually goes evil and makes himself the Doom of the Ultimate Universe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's real weird, but yeah, that's who this is.
Okay, but the Maker, he definitely seems like a nefarious character.
Oh, he's 100% super evil. He's a super genius because there was one plot line where he created a micro society that was in a time bubble that he ruled over for several hundred or thousand years, and they became a super intelligent species, and he multiplied his brain power by such an extent that due to his Reed Richards abilities, his head became all long and distended with a huge thin brain. That helmet he wears right now, he doesn't have the brain thing anymore, but that helmet shape, the way it's all poke-headish, that used to be his whole head.
Whoa, he used to be a lizard brain?
He used to have lizard brain.
No wonder he's evil.
Yeah, super evil.
Yeah, but he's entertaining all through this issue. So the plot of the issue is that after killing Kroll, is that his name?
Null. Well, he didn't kill Null, he killed the dragon that Null was attached to.
He killed the dragon in the last issue and almost died himself in the process. But after that, his symbiote survived, and apparently it went berserk. But we're finding all this out through the Maker telling it to Eddie, because he's got Eddie. For some reason.
And the whole issue locks down.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any memories because his suit now has a reflex where it's shielding him automatically from any traumatic memories.
Right, because it apparently has, according to the Maker, it's dead, but the way he explains it, it seems more like it's like brain dead. Yeah, right. That's what he said.
It's lost its connection to the symbiote network that gave it its consciousness, essentially.
So they get a personalized consciousness through a hive mind?
That's what it sounds like they're doing, which is interesting because it has almost made Eddie into what's his name? The Kree guy from the other Venom series when he had the symbiote, but he was specially trained to keep it locked down so it was only a tool and didn't exhibit its personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eddie now had that forced on him.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting to think about it that way. But it's real sad, and I really hope he fixes it.
Yeah, the way they explain it, there's definitely the plot hole through which they can restore the symbiote to what... Because not only can they likely restore the connection, but its consciousness is likely probably still in, like, attached to some... Like, if we think of it like the Great Link.
Right, the Great Link.
Right.
With Odo. Yeah, but it did seem like it's like... they're pulling it back a little bit. With the symbiote because it's become so smart, and then it got the wings, but now it's lost the wings, and now it's brain dead, and that's too bad. But it seems like they're definitely gonna fix it.
Well, he does say the symbiote lost its new powers, but if you look at the flashbacks where we see it, it still appears to have like the extra symbiote bits that were like part of its power up. So that's probably true. From sorry, I leaned into the mic so much there, guys. That's probably... I feel like that's a sign that it's not back 100% to ground zero. I feel like that was a change that only exhibited after he absorbed Rex.
Right, that's true.
And Rex was separated from him when they forced the dragon into the incinerator.
Yes, he was.
But to me, those spikes say that there's something in there still.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, he's been rampaging for weeks. But
I forgot about
they
the
were
other
able
twist.
to track him because, and it was revealed in this issue, even to Eddie, I guess, that the reason Venom drools green slime all the time is because
that's how he poops.
His waste product.
That's how the symbiote poops. The green slime got an origin.
Oh man!
Like if he absorbs bullets, like the suit. Like I remember there being times where the suit would just shoot bullets back out at whoever.
Right, they can do that too.
But apparently if it absorbs anything, it then processes it out as the green drool.
Yeah, which is interesting that it's, I guess, feeding on its own, separate to what it gets from Eddie. Right. In its symbiosis.
Well, we know Eddie's feeding it chocolate to keep its brain-eating thing. Yeah. Now, the other thing, though, that was revealed is that the symbiote drove Eddie to his dad's house, where it was revealed that Eddie has a little brother.
Right.
So...
That's a twist. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Many expansions of the mythos. It's interesting to me that... through 7 issues, the 2 primary characters, like pre-existing characters that they've brought in, are Ultimate Universe characters. Miles Morales and the Maker are both from the Ultimate Universe, and they're, I think, the only survivors of the Ultimate Universe currently post Secret Wars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if that was on purpose or not. But yeah, I really look forward to seeing how Eddie interacts with the Maker in the coming issues, because that dude is... Like, he's the classic, ultra Machiavellian plotter, master planner, planning 18 moves in advance, and has every contingency under wraps.
Yeah, I knew I liked him right away. That grin on his face just said exactly that. It's like, I know so much about everything that's going on, and you don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly. Great character. And the issue looks great, even though the whole issue is just the Maker talking to Eddie, who has a hilarious new look. They shaved his head, but he's like a thick beard now.
Yeah, I'm liking his new look. It's very Mountain Man-ish.
Oh, right, they didn't shave his head. They used fire on him, right? Or in the incinerator.
They probably lost it in the incinerator.
Yeah, he burned all his hair off in the incinerator. Yeah, it's a well drawn issue, and when we do see the symbiote, it's fantastic when it's going crazy doing its thing. And I love how it
poop in the mouth.
Like the eyes seem like they're highly minimized currently, since it's just the symbiote driving.
Yeah, exactly.
And the symbiote has no personality anymore.
No, it's mad.
So Venom continues to be good. You want to give it a rating?
9.
Wow, I give it an 8.
All right.
I give it an 8. Super solid. Super solid. I just got to save those 9s and 10s. You know what I mean?
I get you. I just saved the 10s. If I call something a 10, like Black Mirror episode 2, you know it's really fucking good.
It's a must experience.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for checking out the LAAGCast. That's all we have for you this week. Leave us a comment. Fun. Yeah. Let us know what you think of the show. Tell your friends. We'd love to get 2 or 3 new viewers at some point. Thanks a lot.
Take it easy.